EverlyWell. So the FDA just approved the first at-home coronavirus testing. This is big news. We're going to talk about what this company is, how they make the tests, how do you get them, and then maybe an IPO. They've been talking about going public. So this is Brian Lewis with MMT Investing, and things just changed. So I'm here at EverlyWell.com, and they have been talking about ramping up these tests to the point where they can get them out to the general public. And their initial batch was 30,000, and they're aiming for 250,000 a week. And we'll talk about the timelines and how you get these tests and the whole process. But first, Bill Gates has the SCAN test. It's the Seattle Coronavirus Assessment Network test, and that's from the not from, but backed by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And the SCAN test has been halted by the FDA. They've requested emergency use authorization, the EUA, and they haven't gotten cleared yet to produce the SCAN test for everybody, but the EverlyWell test has been approved now, and we'll uh, we'll take a look at getting those tests because they do have tests available now, but they're limited. And there's news that their main supplier for the nasal swabs is in Italy and is on restriction because of Italy's serious lockdown. So their supply chain is a little bit limited right now, and they have posted here on their website that it's available for qualifying organizations. So this week, what it is it's available to healthcare, um, like hospitals and healthcare companies, to test doctors that are working, directly on the coronavirus situation. And this is what you get this week. As if we go to, oh, and look, it's Women's Health Week. You get a coupon. Um, yeah, so the test kit, they are addressing it now. And here you go. So you can apply if you are a medical company to try to get a batch of these. And that's for medical companies that have, medical staff that deals directly with the coronavirus, has access to these. Individuals don't have access to this yet, but they're working on getting supply for individuals. And you should be able soon to come on here and apply for a test. And how that would work is you'd fill out the information here and sign up, and then that has to get reviewed by a telemed doc, and you have to get doctor's approval for this, and it's according to the CDC guidelines. And then you can get an at-home test. And so this should actually be coming online soon. But they said the timeline for actually getting the number of tests out to test everybody in America would take more than a year. So this is going to be a slow process to get these tests out, for everybody. Oh, the cost, the potential cost of the test is going to be about $135, which is at no profit to the company, and that is just to try to ramp this thing up and get it going. But they said that certain HSA, like the health savings accounts, can qualify to be used for purchasing these when they become available to the general public. And then the IPO, there is not any new info on the IPO. The IPO is something they're proposing after the coronavirus gets handled, and if there's still big investor interest going forward, then they would look into an IPO. And people are trying to say this IPO thing is happening right now. Nothing is really happening right now except for the FDA approval stamp happened right now, and there are small quantities available to medical professionals through this online form. And a little background on EverlyWell. So Julia Cheek is the CEO and founder, and she started in 2015. And this company has had plenty of buzz already because they were on Shark Tank in 2017, and they got funded by Shark Tank and kind of blew up for at-home testing for all kinds of different things. And now, the first coronavirus at-home coronavirus test is crazy. And they have partnerships with CBS, Target, and Humana. So this is a this is a company that's already had quite a bit of hype, and so if these guys do get an IPO, it's going to be pretty hypey. But it doesn't look like they're going to have tests out to the general public for this year or an IPO this year, and we'll see if Bill Gates can get his test back online here over the next month or so. It's held up by the FDA. But this is a really cool development that we are getting at-home tests, and they're considering actually having you take the at-home test to someone that will make sure that you take the test correctly, because these are nasal swabs, and Julia says like you need to get in there and like it should hurt, and maybe make your eyes water to make sure you get a really good swab on these things. So that sounds like that sounds like a lot of fun. Oh yeah, and Bill Gates and Julia Cheek always smash that like button to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll be putting this in a new playlist. I'm setting up a playlist for these health companies related to the coronavirus, so you can get all the news on this and stock info. And yeah, please go check out the playlists. And this guy is not going to have any stock chart analysis because they are not public yet and don't look to be going public this year. But this could be interesting as a stock look next year, possibly on an IPO offering. And that is EverlyWell. So this is not investment advice or health advice, just the update. And happy trading.